Guys, welcome back to what number are we? Number four or number five?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you said.
To Shelf Talk. Susan and I are back together. We have just come off the gift show circuit. I luckily came home after Vegas. Susan went on to do New York now.
Mhm.
And now we both had time back in our houses, time to relax, and now we're
Yes.
getting put up and we're gonna catch you guys up on what we're doing. And first thing I want to say is welcome back.
Welcome back. It's good to be home. But it's also good to feel really energized again.
I
There was
bet.
a good week where, no one should talk to us.
Well, you had said, and I didn't realize how long it was when you said I figured out how long I'd been on the road, 41 days. That is like I know I was in Vegas for a month, so figure
Yeah.
maybe 35
30.
days total with driving and stuff like that. It's a long
Yeah.
time to be home. But I have my husband and my dogs with me. You were gone.
Yeah.
And luckily Josh and Mavis was with you for a little bit in Atlanta,
They
but
were. They
41.
were. And I came home for like 2.5 days and then left again. And I certainly miss my husband, but I really miss my dog.
I know, isn't that sad?
I miss Mavis.
Do you do FaceTime?
No, because she doesn't like I mean with the dog, no, she doesn't like get it.
We'll do FaceTime and Dave will point the camera at Mouse and I'm like, "Hi Mouse," and she'll sit up and her ear will go up and down like she hears
Yeah.
Bear. I don't know if Matilda Bear ignoring it, but Mouse definitely hears it. And I'll even say, "Who wants a cookie?" And Dave's like, "God damn it." And they totally then Matilda will hear
And
it.
they really see. Yeah. No, Mavis is, I think she's like still too young. Her little neurons aren't always like she's like, huh?
What is that noise? Oh my God.
No,
That's a
no.
long time to be gone though. So welcome
It
back.
is, thank you. But it's also like I was telling you, this season was really good. It was a really good season. There were no tears of sadness, except when the wall, except when I was saying, except for the one the wall almost fell on me. That was, more tears of being tired.
Did you? So we talked about this last time, the coming down off of the gift show, and like
Mhm.
the last one was CMA. So
Yeah, yeah.
we came off that, and it was like the super high, and then there was this weird sadness. Like I don't, and I could you
A
and I
lot of, yeah, depression and
talked about that this time. The follow up, like
was a lot easier. It's interesting. I went straight from New York to Seattle to meet up with Josh and my folks. And I actually think that was really nice. So I decompressed somewhere else, not at home. But at home, but so I was with my mom and dad, and I probably could have used a couple days by myself or just with Josh before jumping into, you know, mom and dad role. But that actually was really nice to just sort of immediately kind of go into a pseudo vacation, or pseudo.
how
And yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
how like what does decompressing look like? Because Dave always calls it, even when we travel internationally, Dave will call it reentry.
It is fully reentry. I
How's
mean,
your reentry?
a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I do, but that is sort of my go-to anyways. That's just my personality. I will like sleep or, like watch TV or just kind of do a little like cocoon, hide away for a little while. And then, till I sort of feel like, okay, battery's up to level and now I can talk and have conversations and
Oh my God, I'm the weirdo that comes home and like immediately grocery shopping and all the stuff we
mm.
get because I don't, we've never talked about the sample sales at the show because,
Oh yeah.
so everyone,
I did fly home with at least one lamp, of course,
I
because
mean, people don't, you guys don't see this part of it when we do the shows, but all of these showrooms have discontinued. So everyone starts either they pulled them already and they put them in sample sale, but 9 times out of 10, the merchandisers don't get there till the 11th hour. They pull
yeah.
the shit out, they put it in the hall, and you walk by and you kind of roam the halls to see. And home
Mhm.
art is now my go-to. That's the first place I check. And
They
usually
have a great selection.
Chris has so much stuff out. Like, so that was the first place. I have so much shit that I brought home that I'm such a weirdo that I get home and I'm putting our stuff away. And I'm actually placing shit that I got from Chris from Homar. I'm like
I love it.
moving ottomans are like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just leave it in the garage for a couple days and chill out and like,
No, I think that's great. No, because no, I love it. I love it. It's just my personality that I absolutely just kind of go, I kind of
I wish I
I
need
shut down. It's like, oh, battery is, dying.
I like that analogy. Yeah,
I know
I
you're like all jazzed and you're like you keep on keeping
for me,
on.
nesting. I realize it's nesting. It's like
Yeah.
getting fresh flowers, like,
Yes.
putting things away that I love. I sit down at my desk and I spend half a day just going through all my files of the jobs that we just finished, anything I need to work on, go
Yeah.
through all my bills. Because not being home for a month, like, you don't realize like how much shit, like mail and
The
all the,
bills alone. Yeah, I did have to do like and then you start reconciling all your invoices and your receipts and
yes, that's timely little. It took me 3 days to reconcile six. Oh my God, so many.
it was good to go back to Seattle and then like my mom and I went to the farmers market. That was really great. Got all these fresh fruit and just sat in the sun and the temperature was really nice and you know,
I love
watched
that.
yeah, ate food that my mom made.
I love that. And now we're about both back home
We're
and
both back home, and it's the nice thing is I have come home re-energized to deal with our house because I mean, whether people know it or not, we're still constantly in the midst of working on our house, and so I don't have an office yet. So I'm in our bedroom, and there's surrounding me is stuff I would not let anyone see. And my office, I've been redoing, so I've been polyurethane the floors, and I have them almost done, which is really great because that means I'm like that much closer to moving into my office, which I can paint. So now I have to decide paint colors.
that's fun. That's the good
It is
part.
good.
My
I,
sad office has now become Bristol Farm storage for garland and
are you serious? That's where you're keeping it all now?
yeah, because for the way Bristol Farms works is they have the storage area in Palm Desert. So
Right,
each of the stores pallet up their holiday decor and send
right.
it to Palm Desert. And then if they open a new store, so anybody that's in California, the
Okay.
new one is in Hollywood.
Ooh,
I think
cool.
it's below another living, like there's living above, and then there's down below there's the
Hmm.
Bristol Farms. And I can't send it to the store because I don't know if it will make it because you
Oh, got it. Okay. So
know,
this is for the new store.
yeah, so I make a habit of like just send it to me, but it's like, 16 cartons of garlands. Like it's and I'm
Where are you getting your garland from for
they
this?
order it. Luckily, we do everything through Kurt Adler, and
Okay.
luckily we put the order in because with tariffs, it was like, I said to them, I think it was in January, that I've had this stuff in the house since February. Because in January, I was like, we need to order if you're opening the new store, we need to figure out how many end caps, blah blah. I have
Good. Good call.
to order it now because the tariff situation is and it already changed because we got in before that 50% was marked,
Yeah.
dropped it again, and they just raised it again. So luckily we got in that little magic window where it
Yeah.
wasn't. But get this. Okay, so we moved from Redondo, right?
Okay.
And Kurt Adler has been sending me, because I've been with Bristol for 12 years. Kurt Adler has been sending me garlands and whatever for new stores. This is just how we do it. So it always comes to my house
Mm-hmm.
years. So Kurt Adler sends out 16 cartons of garland. And the rep, I'm called to get like what the status is. And she goes, well, unfortunately, the warehouse guys sent it to the Redondo address. I'm like, what? And she goes, and they accepted it. I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah. She goes, do you know them? I'm like, no, I don't know them. Like
Oh my gosh.
but who fucking accepts like 16 boxes of something instead of
That's
bouncing
not
it?
yours. I know.
So, so they FedEx tried to go back and get it, and of course they didn't answer. It's like, how, like, okay, there's karma. Like, sorry, you're gonna have some kind of karma
Yeah,
because
what are they gonna sell that on the black market
I
as
mean, I
garland?
guess, I mean, their house is gonna have a shit ton of garland on, that's for sure.
They probably opened it up and was like, what is this and why?
why would you
Why would you accept that's
and when
someone
FedEx
who,
comes to
yeah,
get it, why would you tell them no? Like they
yeah,
actually said no. And so Kurt Adler had to re-send the whole thing to me. And so this is the second ship, but I was like, wow. So
that's,
long that's where we're at now. You had talked to me. So we saved the conversation about the new job I have with Lucy's.
I know. I'm
You
excited for you.
usually like last season, that's what was so hard is that we came off this job and I said, it's my fault. I said, like, I can't wait to live somewhere. If I'm going to live on a job for a month, 2 months at a time, when I come home, I want to be home and I want to be present. Well, I was present for 4 fucking months with no work. I mean, I went to California once and I had
Yeah,
one Zoom job, but by far and large, I did not work for 4 months. And that is not a
so
comfortable
hard.
thing. Like,
That is depressing.
like all the money you made just goes right out because my
Yes.
expenses don't change. And it's like,
Mhm.
there it goes there. And I was starting to fucking panic. Like it
Yeah.
was not comfortable. So going back, I was like, thank God. Like, I have my regular customers in California, but they're not going to pay to have me come out there as often as I was. Like,
No, and yeah, yeah. And we've had this conversation a lot because we both deal with it where we're texting, we're just like, it's crickets for a while sometimes.
yeah, because everyone goes to doing their jobs. But
Mhm.
what was weird is it, and I can't talk about who the two vendors are, but before the show even ended, I had two texts from two brands that I want so bad. And they're like, just reaching out now, and this is before the show even ended. Usually no one reaches out until
Right.
like 2 months in advance, 3 months if it's a new brand. But
Hmm.
for them to reach out when show's still going on was wild. So that was one thing that was like, whoa. And then the Lucy's project came up before we even started, which is
Hmm.
a 3 location restaurant and
That's super exciting. Oh,
it's
which I saw something when I was in New York, and I will send you a photo of using pasta in display too. And I was excited about it in general.
oh my gosh, I can't because okay, so when I talk about dream jobs, I'm going to do a solo. It's going to be called design, display, merchandising, and micromanaging because it needs to be discussed. And when you have a client that is, you know, I have to go in and explain what I do. I have to explain
Hmm.
what I would
Hmm.
change. I would explain all those things. And then when somebody's like has the confidence in you and says, "All right, absolutely, you're on board.
100%.
You tell us what we need, and we are leaning in, and we are leaning in hard, and we're going to do it."
Yep. Yep.
And those are the dream jobs. I mean, like we did like 14-hour. The first day I flew in at 3 in the morning. I was at the airport. I flew at 5. I got to Arizona at 8. I didn't get home into the hotel until like 7. And then the next day was 14 hours. And I was on the thing is when you do something you love and you're not micromanaged and you're not,
It's a
watched
high. You're just
you're on this
cruising.
high. This is crazy adrenaline
Yeah.
rush. And I was on adrenaline like for 3 days solid, just so high on how cool the restaurant was, how great the team was, what we're doing, the possibility of what we're going to change and roll out. Like, oh my God, it is like it is the biggest high, and it's the biggest joy. And it's like I always go back to the human design thing.
Mhm.
My sign for manifesting generator is to follow the joy. If
Yeah.
you're doing something that you don't love, and that's not always the case, you're not able to do that, but truly
If you can, and it's good to keep in the mindset,
yes. And
you know.
I am so leaning into those jobs that are these jobs that just, one, they trust and value you, which is huge.
Mhm.
But where it's just this dreamy combination of, let's do this. Okay, tell us what we need. Like, you need
Yeah.
new fixtures. Okay, let's order new fixtures. Like, oh my
The
God.
rarity that those things happen, and that is so great
I
when
am
they do.
so excited. So I went, we did little fixes. I didn't set the floor or anything. It was
Yeah.
just to
I
get
sent you a photo of the one I was talking about.
is just to get the oh yes. I love
Right?
that.
It's just a restaurant, but look what they did with the vases and the pasta.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pulling all kinds of images for it because now the like I said, the dreamy part is I get to cross merchandise. They sell wine.
Yes.
They
Just
have
like that.
restaurant food. I'm going to start doing food. Like we did a bunch of cookbooks and some great stuff from Mud Pie, and then we did tabletop from design, not design, but we like all these things that I love that to
Mhm.
create these amazing
Mhm.
tabletop, like, it's a family restaurant. It's like it
Yeah.
should feel like food is love. And
Yeah.
so this like now to get to cross merchandise all these like the D. Marie drink mixes, the wines they need, they sell. We're cross
Yes.
merchandising. It's like, oh my God.
It's a no-brainer. It's
So
like,
excited. Like
yeah.
I am so excited. So it's nice to come home and I'm not jammed busy. I have
Yeah.
one project and it's nice to have that. And then, know that I go back to them to set up we're doing the
Yeah.
renovation
When do you go back?
September 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. I think I
Okay.
come home.
So right after Labor Day. So in a,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wanted to do it before, but it was too tight. And plus their products, their stuff is still dribbling in. I mean, there's a lot of they're not used to taking this much inventory at all. And I think partly the challenge has been the buyer because there's a support for the buyer is
Mhm.
um that it's almost like they weren't sure how much to buy or they weren't doing a storytelling. They were buying things they liked, but
Yeah.
they didn't have enough of it to make it feel meaty. And I think a lot of buyers do this. Like you get in and you like something, you're going to quote test it, but there's not enough of it to
Yeah.
make an impact. So then it
Where
looks
all you're doing is testing a whole bunch of a lot of different things that don't.
And then it looks like unimportant and it looks like we're not sure what we're doing and it's
Mhm.
not like meaty and juicy. And so the, now it's like they have a lot coming. I'm just now my concern is support for the girls that are doing they don't have a receiving. It's a restaurant. I mean, by far and large, it's a restaurant. So
Yeah. No, it's like so you're unboxing it yourself, you're pricing it the whole bit. Yeah, there's no but it's been done before, it can be done again. This is not unlike, yeah.
So excited. And the biggest thing I think is also their POS system. And again, for everybody who has POS systems that don't run on reports, like seriously, if your gift is just under gift, like everything
It's
was
time
under
to start breaking into categories and run lots of reports, upside down reports. You know what I mean? Like run reports of not just jewelry, but high price jewelry to low price jewelry, vice versa, quantity to because you might find that quite frankly that what sells is not what you think is
yeah.
selling. And you got to kind of, so I love reports. I love finding out what really
By
sells.
vendor also, because I pull them by vendor also.
Oh, yeah, 100%. By vendor, if you can do by type, if you can even break it down by type, how exciting is that? But at least by vendor, by category.
Yeah, we have 16 categories. I didn't want to overwhelm them too much. So
No,
16, at
no.
least I can go, what's driving the business? Because that's the first thing I ask anybody that I work with. And
What kind of categories are you setting up for them? Like,
books, wax, plush, kids, which plush and kids should be together, but I know plush has bigger numbers. So I
it
want,
is, and then it's good to be able to kind of see what plush is happening. Yeah. Do they carry Jellycat?
well, what's left of it? Yeah.
Okay.
It's so, I had to break because I don't think they realize that Jellycat by far and large is pretty much getting rid of all their stock lists. And, I said to them, we need to find a new replacement. So we
100%.
wrote Mon Ami, which
Good.
cutest fucking little friend, like the little, okay, for all of you that carry Jellycat, if you've lost
Yep.
Jellycat, look at Mon Ami because it's
Monami is yeah.
so cute and price points are about the same. They're a
Yep.
little bit smaller, but the price points are about the same. But there's a French bread, a French baguette, and he has a little beret on, a little
Apron and the
mustache.
bacon is the best. I set that display in Vegas and
Oh, that's where we
as
bought
soon
it
as you
from.
put little striped legs on it, oh my God.
It's so
Like
cute.
all the cakes with the legs and the feet. And yeah, but the baguette, I'm so glad you found him because he is my absolute favorite.
Well, you had him in your pocket when set up.
I
So
did.
I
Yeah,
already
because you've been.
knew I wanted him. And so, it's so for those of you who are losing Jellycat, we wrote them. We wrote something Bears. I forget the name, not Bernstein Bear, but
It's
something
oh my gosh.
fine line.
Not Barrington Bears. It's, yeah, Burlington Bears. No, Barrington.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Timeline. So we wrote that, but I'm trying to prepare them like by the way, and then we did go to Jellycat to look at what was quote open stock, and it was
Hmm.
like fucking like 2 pages of open stock. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, there's some stores that I look at on the on Insta, and it's like I'm looking at like how much stock, like Urban Girl in San Diego. Annie has so much that I can't imagine them pulling it out of there. But like I talked to one of the reps at Stephen Young, and
Hmm.
they dropped Ace Hardware that had 33 locations because
Yep.
it was on gondolas. It was not, and they're like
They're going for, okay, sorry. Yeah, they're going for a particular visual
they want it.
appearance. They want a
They're
standard.
comparing themselves now to YSL, Louis
Hmm.
Vuitton, Gucci. Like they're comparing themselves to high-end brands, which okay, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, they made the mistake, and I don't know for those who saw it, they made the mistake of Jellycat making a post about we love our small stock lists. And you should have seen the backlash of people of retailers. Oh, so, thanks so much. I just got my letter the other day that you're not selling me anymore. And
Hmm.
his comment was like, "Wow, marketing really missed the
Yeah. I
ball."
was thinking of there's the little
It,
baguette.
it is so cute, you guys.
He's so cute.
I'm
I
like
know.
now with the categories, now I can look and see because I said to them, what's driving the business? And I'm working with the IT guy who's amazing. He can manipulate the reports any way I want him.
Right, right.
I said to him, how are you telling what drives the business? He's like, we don't. I'm like, okay, well, that's changing. Like, so that's all been changed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun to make these changes, not only the visual part, because our jobs as merchandisers, it's not just about making it look pretty. It's like making it sell. And
Yes.
if we don't
Yes.
make some of these changes, it doesn't matter how good it looks if we're not going to be able to look back and go, okay, what's driving the business? It's like, especially when I'm not there.
Yeah, and it's tools that you need to use. And I think I'm sure there's a lot of people who think like, oh, merchandisers, they're just and I'm sorry, this is a personal thing. So they're just decorating. I'm like, no, it's not decorating. You are essentially visually interpreting what's happening out of data and reports. Do you know what I mean? It is our goal to sell. We're just selling visually. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't look at that data, if you don't see truly what's driving business and making adjustments,
You're guessing.
then maybe you are decorating. I don't know.
Well, somebody had said it a while ago that merchandisers are your silent salespeople.
Hmm.
And we are there to make it look good, but we are there to make sure it sells. And it's not just like Anthro, I learned a long time ago. It's like it doesn't matter how good it looks because if it doesn't sell, it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
bottom line. It's like
Yeah.
that's and your reports will be able to tell you if it's selling or not. And if you need to
100%.
tweak it, it's like and one example I will say for Anthro, which why I love my report so much, it's like there's a velocity item, and velocity is the top 10 items in every single category. So as merchandisers, it's our job to make sure all those top 10 items are staying in the top 10 item. And there
Hmm.
was some dumb thing, and I've told the story a million times that I hated, and I would hide it every single time. And every Monday morning, we'd have these calls, and I had to make sure my numbers were up with the New York Rock Center store because they were in line.
Right.
And it was like, hey, Michelle, where is this? Because it fell off your velocity report. So it's either not on your floor or it's in your stock room. And I'm like sitting there knowing exactly where it is. It's in a bin underneath a desk because I fucking hated it.
I I
that,
used to work
that
I used to work as a buyer, and I used to work with a merchandiser who I adore. She beautiful things. but she could be sneaky. There'd be sometimes, if she didn't like something I bought, I'd have to go search for it. Be like, girl, I'm like, I don't care. This goes with this.
Yeah,
This is what
it's
needs to
like it
happen.
doesn't matter what we like. And I will tell a story
Yeah.
about Jess because you all know Jess. You and I work with Jess. I love
Mhm.
Jess. Jess and she worked with me in one of my pharmacies. And our job at that point was merchandising a lot of old shit. This is before Burt's Pharmacy. This is
Oh,
like a pharmacy that doesn't exist anymore, but
oh
like
yeah.
we had shit that for years, like they should have put it on sale. And
Oh
we were
yeah.
constantly like, what is this? And there was this one thing, and it's like I knew it was I have like some of a weird like Rain Man memory on merchandise. When I touch it, I know. And she's doing a display, and I'm like, where's the blah 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 tray? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that tray that had the horse on it. And she's all makes this face. I'm like, what? And she pulls it out from behind, like it's totally behind something like hidden. And I'm like, I hate you. And she's like, I hate this.
I know. It's like, sorry, no can doozy.
So your reports, like, just to sum up this conversation of the reports, your reports are super important. And if you are not going by your reports, you are missing out on a huge amount of information that will only help you with your buys. And
I
I know you go
know.
to the store every day and you think you've seen, oh, that's sold out. And it's like you don't know,
Mhm.
you don't realize that whoever was merchandising that day split the candles, and half of the candles are over there and half the candles are over there. And you're thinking they're sold out and they're not. They're just in two different
Gives
places.
you those reports give you power because you then have concrete information
Hmm.
to put something on sale and say, I'm doing this for a reason. You have concrete information to order more of something. And then sometimes, I mean, sometimes they're sad because something you really love just doesn't sell and you have to let it go. But
Yep.
that happens to everyone, but
But
how
for
much
loss
fun is
prevention
that?
too, because it's like you'll see like it's showing you have of these items, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
it's sold out, and it's like, no, they were stolen, and then that's
Out fully.
that helps as well. And it's like I don't sadly I don't pay as much attention to that, but there will be times where I'm like, we
And
sold
we
all of
have,
these.
yeah,
Where are they? And it's like somebody came by and like scooped all of them up and
yeah.
walked away with them. So that's our run on sales reports. But I do want to touch on before we get to the questions, I do want to touch on fall is my favorite time of year.
Oh,
And
yes.
I know you love it. So I want to talk
Mhm.
a little bit about some of the display elements that you would be doing for stores or that you did for wholesale showrooms.
Mhm.
We were showing fall and holiday during the show. Like,
Yeah.
so tell me some of your favorite fall display tricks or
I love that you asked this because I was thinking of certain things that are like, that I kept reaching for or kept wanting to have, even if they're basics for doing display and they work really, really well. And one of them is, and I know you know it too, is that our friend IKEA, they make the faux fur, like sheepskin situation. Thank you. That. Okay.
I'm sitting on one in the chair for those of you who are listening
You
to it.
can sit on it. Okay. But those, and they cost, I don't know, maybe 20 bucks or something. They are fantastic for display. I use them a lot. This season I used them in Merci, and which adds to this really lush kind of ski lodge. It's not faux snow, but it gives off a wintry feel. Do you know what I mean? And so I did that. I also with Merci, and I was like, this was easy stuff that people can do. Is honestly, I needed extra risers. I wasn't finding quite the right kind that I wanted, but I also knew I needed to play in with the story that I was telling. I went to Paper Source where you can really just get plain colored wrapping paper and just wrap boxes. And there you go. Risers in the colors that are kind of coordinating with your display. They're just solid. It's so inexpensive. It does it, if you really want to do something, put ribbon on them and then ta-da, easy, easy.
What greens did you or florals did you if
I
you
did I did very few greens this season. Always pine needles though. I didn't even do a tree this year, which was different. Usually I go for a tree if I can, and depending on the story being told, how it is decorated or not, sometimes it's just ribbon, which I think is a nice way to evoke but not distract from the product that you're trying to sell in front of it, especially if you have a lot of product on the table or, then you just don't need to like add to the chaos, right? So keep it nice and clean. Maybe it's just lights on the tree or maybe it's ribbon. Um, but greens always work. I use greens in LAFCO, just needles, pine needle, you
I
know.
we like you can do them in a vase, but we often will tuck them, we'll do something on a
Oh yeah,
riser
tuck them in. Boop, 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 boop.
next to it.
Extra space.
Vase. Yeah, it's like
Oh yeah.
it gives a softness to it.
It does, and it's also nice that it's not just up high green and then nothing down here. You kind of want to go boop and then have a little relationship down here. You
Mhm.
know, um, a lot of times when doing display, I mean, there's lots of different ways to do it, right? But you kind of do have a little bit of a triangular vibe going. Oftentimes, you have a high point. It's nice to have a relationship with that high point down here,
Yeah.
you know? And it'd be great if you had a high point relationship and maybe a little relationship over there.
Yeah. I love
Little
that.
green,
It
little
just
green,
it
little green.
creates continuity where
It
you
is,
have
yeah.
little, and it's also kind of like I'll use it with a pop of color. Like if I'm doing a bookcase, a
Mm-hmm.
little pop of color is kind of what feeds the display through. The greens kind
Yes,
of do the same thing if you're doing it on a big tabletop.
yes. Another is books, and we've talked about books. And for a holiday display this season, I ended up using a lot of books that were bound in red or green. And when they're flipped, uh, what am I trying to say? Not spine forward, but spine away, whatever. You know,
It
you
just-
just get that little bit of color. And the nice thing about it is you could make it a little haphazard for something a little looser. You could also structurally keep books really, really clean and make it modern too. So I think there's different ways to use books as the risers. And I know that, you where you get them, getting, any number of consignment places, Goodwills,
yeah.
charity shops, or you can order them online by Books by the Yard, foot yard.
What is the because it's like
Straight.
so I will go to Goodwill and any of the used stores and it's I look like an insane person because I get a cart and I will the trick is for everyone listening is to look at all of the spine colors to make sure they're either all black or all blue or
Yes.
whatever. And they're if you hit Goodwill on a certain day, some of them are like a dollar each, but
Yes.
yeah, you are limited to colors and but spot foot books by the foot, the colors they have like they've collected books from all over the country. So it's like if you want to do a whole living room or a whole setup and just pink bound
Hmm.
books, or if
Hmm.
you want to do for me, like the reason why I think you same thing is why we show them the page side out is
Hmm.
because a lot of the times when I get them at Goodwill, they're like James Patterson books. They're this
Oh yeah.
like
You're not there to sell the book.
and it's
You're
like
there to just
all
use
the
it.
fonts are different, and then it looks all fucking weird. Like you're looking
Yeah.
at all these titles, and it's like if you show them page side out, it doesn't take
Hmm.
away from your product.
Exactly. The only time you're showing a book is if you're selling the book.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Also, estate sales are a great place to get someone's old encyclopedias
Oh, you
or
could get
stuff like that.
through Loyal
Yeah.
West. Those were
Yeah,
great.
and those are fantastic. And they just make good risers because we both feel very strongly about acrylic risers. There's a time and a place for them.
No plastic risers.
And, in most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, there's no need to use a plastic riser. And so other things, boxes, I love a good wood box.
And that's wood's always a good one for fall because it's
It is, and it can translate even towards spring. It's a standard.
yeah.
Just give me a nice clean wood box, couple of different sizes, plate stands, easy, easy. You know, you're display elements you want to help enhance what you're selling, not be the thing that everyone's looking at, you know.
We've
It
got a
should.
question on that, which we'll hit in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, like I don't know, like for like, because I keep now I'm going through magazines because I'll buy a bunch of magazines and I'll go through and get some ideas for display
Hmm.
because my heart is still with the anthro style displays, like
Yeah.
really enhancing. But the reality is, I just don't have that time a lot of times to create some of these really cool displays. Like, so I'm going through and trying to get ideas for the restaurants because I'm going to be
Hmm.
setting up fall and my some of my favorites are always for and for my house as well is corn stalks. Like,
Yep.
love corn stalks. And they're easy because if you have a bookcase, like you could take, because they sell them at the California Flower Market. All the vendors sell corn stalks. But for me here, there's no flower market, but I'm surrounded by farms. So I
Hmm.
just go to the farm stands and ask them, can you guys cut me down full corn stalks? And they're like, yeah. And it's like, it's crazy because in California, at the flower market, they were $40 for five. And now the lady's like, I don't know, $20. And it's like six bundles. I'm like, oh my God, 20.
Yeah, can I take
I mean,
10?
of course, because it's here, but I mean, it's eye-opening. Even like all the branches with moss that I love
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much,
Ugh.
flipping everywhere. They're like on the ground.
Ooh, here's here's a good one. This was new this year for me. I mean, it's not like it's some breakthrough, but I used it a lot. Um, Doing different things for risers, so glass vases, glass cylinder vases, right? And then I'm like, okay, and I'd put like a slab of wood on top, like a classic, log slab, which we love. But then filling the vase with like moss or pine cones. So you have a color, you have a little sparkle from the glass that your product stands out against. It was a new, pleasant thing to do that just sort of
Love
worked well. And I have pictures of those. And it's just like, okay,
It's
put
funny
pine cones. Yeah,
because
moss.
you did that at Coco and Carmen. I did Coco and Carmen this time, but you
Yes.
did the opening and you had a jar and you put a
Yes.
round marble tray on top.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wishing there was anything inside of it, but I was wishing
Yes.
there was something inside of it. And now you kind of taken that display.
Yeah, it's a way to season and now there's things inside glass.
Love
But
that.
yeah, like don't, yeah, risers. It's always about risers, is finding the right risers and the way they fit together and add texture without taking away from the product. You
Ar-
want to.
With your risers, you are creating architecture. And it's like if
Ah,
you're not creating it with a big table or a three-tier
mhm.
top of it, you create your architecture with these risers. And if they're
Yeah,
big enough, you can get additional inventory on your table without making it look like a garage sale. And that's the great thing
yes.
about these risers. And the plastic risers, I always say no. The rule, though, which I will break, is if you can completely cover up, like if you have a two rows, your back row is the one that has the plastic riser.
Yeah,
Put whatever on
100%.
top of it. If you have a tray that you can put on top of that plastic riser, great. But the
Mm-hmm.
product in front of it needs to be tall enough to hide the plastic riser.
100%.
And
The
9 times out of 10, you don't. And all you see is the plastic riser.
Like we sell plastic risers. The other two times I will use a plastic riser. If I am creating kind of almost like a pyramid shape, let's say a set of three bowls, okay?
Oh,
Larger bowl, a riser that sits in it but sits below the rim that the next bowl can sit on, that the riser sits below the rim okay. Or flip them upside down. And if you have books, maybe you might have run out of plate stands or something that doesn't hold it as well. They can, so that's the little H shape and they can sit in there. That's the only
those
other.
who sell Deamery drinks, that's what I was holding up all
There
the.
you go. Seen and so they don't flop over. That was a good way to do it.
Yeah, sometimes you have packages or something that's kind of flimsy that needs the
Yep.
structure. Yes, those, and that's where I would call those saddles, even though they're a plastic riser.
Saddles.
Somebody called it
Sounds
that, and I was like,
better.
"What? A saddle?" And now I'm like,
I
"Oh,
like it.
how
Saddle.
it doesn't sound like. Bring me the plastic riser. Bring me a
Yeah,
saddle."
bring me a saddle. Yes, I feel like that was Those are my holiday happies. Were the my holiday happies. I did lots of fun things this year, but that was, man, I love a good fur moment for Christmas. I don't know how long I'll stretch that one out. We'll see. There
I
might be
keep
something new.
wondering because I mean, talking about the sample sale earlier, I went
Yeah.
down to, I forget the showroom's name. I don't know why I can't remember it, but sh they had huge, big, oversized sheepskins. And I picked up another one. It's like, I have the sheepskins on my dining table. We have like Eames style dining chairs that with
Mhm.
Dave's original parents' original plastic cover, and I'm too lazy to change them. So I just put the sheepskin over it.
Yeah.
I have one covering an ottoman because the dogs sit on it. And then I have somewhere else and it's like, all right, I might have too much of the sheepskin. I might have to like
That's like me and marble because I use marble so much. And actually I use marble a lot in display as well because it elevates something so beautifully. And like this season I used black marble in the display. I became the lady at I went to Home Goods and I came across all these cool black marble one-offs. And Home Goods is great for one-off pieces or maybe two items, but you get enough of the same texture. And so I used it in a LAFCO display, a lot of black marble. And it just was like, ooh, that's luxe when you have black marble and gold.
yeah. You had touched on this, so I just wanted to circle back for 1 second. Is that that's a good point. Home Goods is an amazing place for one-off items.
Yeah, and
Don't
good for
feel like
display
your
pieces.
don't feel like your display pieces all have to match. That if you there is a continuity of black,
Yes.
and if they're all black marble,
Yeah.
it can be
Yeah.
different shapes, and it will still have that effect without feeling like you have to have all the same one. And that's one of the things Home Goods is so great about.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I found like a lot of white marble items. So I was like, okay, like here's a plate stand, a tray, a square tray, a round tray, a long tray, and something else. I was like, that's great. When you have the product on them, they all marry together really well. So,
I love me, I forget where I did it, but a stack of books with a marble tray on top of it, which
mm,
I just love what that looked like.
I know.
It's like, but it's for fall for me, corn stalks, and
Love
then
it.
the real pumpkins always.
Hmm.
I mean, the fake
Yes.
pumpkins I love, but they're expensive. And unless you're going to sell them, which I hate to say it, everything should be for sale. So if you do have to go buy faux pumpkins,
Mhm.
be sure they're for sale.
Great.
But
Yeah.
Trader Joe's has the heirloom pumpkins now. They're not out yet, but they are less expensive than they were actually at the California Flower Market last year. Like
And Trader Joe's is a great. I'm sorry if my
it's
uh,
weird. It's like I'm like it's
it
almost
does. No, it's doing it automatically. So I
like
was like,
it
I
does
don't
it
know what
like
to do. I
I'm
was
like,
like,
wow, it's very dramatic.
I
If you're not watching, Susan's camera is going in and like we'll do like close-ups on her and then it pulls back and I was like,
and it does it automatically. I don't know. There's probably some setting that I didn't undo. But Trader Joe's is a great place for, especially we all know for flowers, great prices, greenery, things of that sort. So if you
wow.
don't have access to a backyard, a flower market or something, go to Trader Joe's. Um, Corn stalks reminds me of the photo I sent you, which is pasta and using pasta in vases and things like that. I mean, we don't have to do the tricolor dusty pasta on a
Uh,
counter. We are beyond that. Make it, rich and happy, right? Like lasagna, those ruffled lasagna sheets, right? How beautiful
That's,
that
I
was.
mean, I forget who we talked about this in signage, the last one. Someone asked a question about signage, and somebody had taken the lasagna sheets, and that's how they did their signage for whatever they were selling. They had beautiful handwriting, and
Oh
only
my God,
because
that's
he had good
cute.
handwriting, but beautiful handwriting and wrote whatever the item was and the price. And then, just, and it's, if someone breaks it, it's easy. It's replaceable. It's inexpensive. And again, all these conversations all go back to storytelling and
Oh,
like
100%.
however your
100%.
display risers and your
Yeah.
signage, like it's all about the storyline. And so
Yeah.
that pot, that lasagna, I was like, oh my God. I don't know if I could do that in the restaurant because something tells me the volume that they do. But they
Yeah, and I think actually this would be a good lead into one of the questions because sometimes some great ideas you don't you have more foot traffic than can handle this, or you really don't have this much time to get that minute. So I was just thinking of the gal in Bozeman
well,
and
okay, so I'm going to have
what
you
she said, and I think
read
this
her
is good.
question. So we're going to
Yeah.
get to the questions now. And
Okay.
again, if you want to submit your questions, go to retailhorrorpodcast.com. Up at the top, click the link for submit your questions. You can also, if you're listening, you can also submit your store for being on the podcast, which I will say right now, I had 2 interviews with people that sent in their stores. They are so good. And
Love it.
if you guys are thinking about submitting your store, the thing is there's a million stores out there and there's a lot that are not on my radar. And if you guys submit it and it's like if you have a story and it's like it's a family business or what, some of these stories are so good. I can't wait. So both of those places, but submit your question because we love this and it gives us a chance to share our knowledge. And you can, I mean, it doesn't even have to be about display, it can be about whatever signage. So
I know.
this is our first question of the day. And hi,
Oh,
Dave Bozeman, because I love you.
yes. Oh, okay, I'm reading it. So yes, Heyday Bozeman. So this is the question. I'm in charge of merchandising all the jewelry at our very busy little boutique store in Bozeman. What are your tips for making jewelry look pretty and up to standard in such a high-paced environment? This is key. We sell through quite a bit and it's a good sized store. She goes, I can't just lay things on the shelf in the open as much as I'd like. Everything gets messed up in about 2 seconds. And we sell so much that I struggle with making it look high end while simultaneously having enough stock for customers. And then also theft is always on my mind. So I love this because she brought up 2 important things. It's a high-paced store and keeping stock out for customers, and it gets messed up really quickly. I feel like and jewelry is a tough one because I mean, I'm sure like as a merchandiser and as a buyer, you're like, how can I present jewelry? You could either go super, super high end where it's all under glass. Okay, there's one way. Good for you. And that works for some things really well.
I mean, high end, what is the price point? Just so everyone can, because I had to take jewelry, I took doors off jewelry cases at the restaurant because the price points are $50 and less. They weren't even locked, but people won't open them.
They
So
will not open them. I'm feeling like
sales.
you have a semi-precious jewels. Do you know what I mean? Or it's such a niche line or very bespoke kind of line that losing a piece is like losing a piece of artwork. Do you know what I mean? Like, or perhaps you need someone to really be servicing behind the counter,
To me,
right?
$100, to me,
Yeah,
$100 is pretty under glass. I
for
mean,
sure. For
below
sure.
that,
Yeah.
okay. So sorry.
So one of the I used to have this like when I was at the hospital shop, we sold jewelry all day long. Yes, it gets stolen. And when I also worked at the bookstore, yes, it gets stolen. There is a point where you unfortunately can't not have something stolen. I hate to say that, but it's true. Do you know what I mean? But you're outweighing your sales, hopefully, then you're having more sales than things being stolen. There's also a lot of times with jewelry, and I know you'll agree, is you don't have a lot of room to be really cute with like displays. You don't want to this isn't this isn't an under glass display where you could be very like this jewel goes right here and this piece goes right here. These are high touch items. People are holding them up to their ears. Oh, I can't really put that back. They're just laying things down. They're carrying it around. They put it back down and they've messed up your gorgeous little display. So, what are ways that you can have higher quantity items and it takes a lot for it to mess it up. That's what I was trying to think of. So, So I have some photos for you to share.
If you're watching on, I'm cracking up right now because you talk and it's like this dramatic pause, but the camera is taking as a dramatic pause and it zooms.
Oh my God.
So I started laughing. That's why I started wasn't laughing at what you were saying.
No, it's okay. I have no idea
Sit
what
there and
this
zoom in on.
Zoom. Maybe there's like an update to Zoom I'm not aware of that's happening. Okay.
So if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not, this would be the time that you make a note
Yeah.
in, where we are in the show that you can
Hold
check it.
on, let me come on over. Come on, Susan. Let's do this. Okay. Here is one. Can you see this okay, Michelle? Can you see the photo I'm sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
This is just basic. It's a silver spinner, right? Okay, jewelry, earring spinners are all day long. However, there's ways to do it. I chose these because they are very clean lined and a little bit more modern and elevated. These are these silver spinners. I don't think you should be afraid of earring spinners. If you have, I don't feel like this is the best photograph to show, but this is all I had.
Well, it's better than slat wall spinners. That's
Exactly. And I don't, and so, and actually, I know the gal who designed these. She owns the store Something Silver in Seattle, Washington. And she spent a lot of time trying to come up with a spinner and something clean and modern that could fit different height carded earrings and things like that. And it's just purely a way of showing earrings, but don't have like five different spinners from different companies. That's where I
thank
think things
you.
get really, can find one that really works for you, one or two, and make sure they're the same,
Thank you.
and then different earrings can be on them, but let the spinner be the same. I recognize that there are a lot of companies, they'll have theirs branded a certain way. With this spinner, it's very clean, basic, squared off. You could brand it. You don't even have to have it branded for the reason it was necessary in this situation, but where at least the branding could look the same. It's the same size. And so it's the product that shows, not the spinner.
I think a lot of people, you can ask them to do
Sadly.
your logo on that because my peeve with fixtures, like I don't use fixtures, and I'm sure manufacturers not gonna like this, but I won't use the fixtures that the manufacturers send because what happens is it's great when it's all full.
Yep.
And essentially, it's half sold down, it's
Hmm.
empty, and then now you're having to mix other brands in it, and it still says Blue Q, for instance. It still says Blue Q,
Exactly.
and then it's all this mishmash of product.
Hmm. Yep.
Like, for the question, it being higher end, where you're doing volume,
Mhm.
earrings are one of those things where I don't feel like earrings need to dis unless they're high end, that you need
Yep.
to display them in a case. They're like quick and go. And again, like this is another peeve, is if it's for heyday, if you have your own cards,
Oh
take
my God,
put them on
please.
your own cards because that just elevates it alone. Again,
It does. And
it's
then you
like
have
18 different
size
cards.
consistency too,
Yeah.
you know, but you're so right because you can take jewelry off just because you bought them from someone. You can have like three different vendors. I know it takes time, but put them on your own cards. It's huge. It is absolutely huge.
Also,
It,
also when you do that is that, we all know we buy a lot from the same brands, especially
yep,
now Fair, and Fair a lot of times does not like zip code protect you. So one thing that this does alleviate is someone going to a store three doors down from you and you sell the same brand,
yep,
one's going to know because it's on your card as opposed to the same card
exactly.
that they have on this block, on this block, on this block.
Exactly, exactly. And I really glad you mentioned that because that's huge.
I love these.
These I love too. And this is something that I think, again, consistency with the display, right? So these are these little L-shaped necklace holders, very simple pieces of wood. You could put it on a plate stand even. You don't even have to get fancy with like the little support system in the back. You could use a plate stand, right? And with notches at the top that the necklaces, you know, what am I trying to say? Lodge into, and then you can show multiple necklaces. I like this. Lodge into. You know what I'm talking about, though?
The jewelry can hang it. You can also, if you don't,
Yeah,
if you don't have somebody that make these little cuts at the top, you can also put in screws in the back and
100%. Yep.
to the back. And actually,
Exactly.
that for loss prevention, those screws tend to, it's a lot harder to pull them off and run off with it because
Hmm.
it's hooked kind of around. So if that helps for loss prevention. But what I like about this though, and showing display jewelry like this, is that you can show like stacks, like how you would wear it. Like all four of these
Yep.
necklaces look good together. And
Yes.
they're easy to pull off. They're easy to shop. You can hold a good amount. And again, like if you're not showing something on a T stand and like for
Mhm.
the same one, this makes it feel more special and it makes it feel like they're one, not one of a kind, but it doesn't feel like, there's six of the same necklace. It kind of gives it its
Exactly.
own little moment.
Yes, it's less of a, Old Navy register, on a peg thing. And this is a different option than using the like little busts, which honestly take up room and are not, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of them.
The busts are,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is such a fresh modern, and I can imagine depending on the vibe of your store, you could paint these different colors. You could really just you could have a lot of fun with this, You could
Did
like get bright
beautiful
paint. Who
mess,
knows?
beautiful mess years ago. She had a really deep, and this may be something heyday that you guys could do. She had really deep jewelry cases.
Hmm.
I took just 4x4 lumber and we cut it down in different, anything from like a 6-inch cube to like, a 12-inch piece
Right.
to an 18-inch piece. And I laid them all down in different patterns in the jewelry case and
Love
laid the
it.
jewelry on top of that. And you also can stand them up and put one of those big home art black iron nails at the top and
Yes.
jewelry hanging from that. I think I have one in my,
Ooh, cool.
I'm gonna grab my cube. They're just like portable.
Yes.
And it's like so cost effective, but you could stain them. But like
Yep.
I know like when
Or
you
add the nails in there to like,
jewelry, you put a piece of crystal on it and
yeah.
drape the jewelry over
Very
that.
Yep. And I mean, think as a customer, let's say you pick something off and you look at it and you want to put it back, they're not going to sit there and artfully like
No,
they want to be able to hook it back into
that's
the
lucky
space.
if they do that. Usually,
Yeah. So ways to have volume but ease. This one is so easy.
I like that one.
I like this one too, and I think it, especially when you have a lot of one-offs, like they show. So we have a branch with again the nails or screws into the branch, and then the necklaces hang. And this is one of those ones where each necklace shown is more of a large pendant style. All of them are different, but they kind of tell a story together. If you take one off, it's not going to feel empty. You could double up a couple of these, pretty easily. It's easy
I
for the
like it.
customer to
I like that
interact with.
where Bozeman, like in Bozeman, it's like where it's kind of like
Yes.
nature out.
100%. And then this is my last little show and tell. Oh no, sorry, second to last. This is a classic IKEA fixture. It's a file cabinet thing, and those are pieces of cork on the drawers that pull out.
Ah,
If I also think these would be great for sunglasses or readers if you
yeah,
want to feel a little bit more, you want to have volume, but you don't want a spinner rack,
I like
right?
that one.
I love this. And so this could be something where, yes, the jewelry is laying down, but it's not just like on a table chaotically. It's contained. We talk a lot about trays.
Yeah.
Like dishes and trays, and this is sort of akin to that. Where you're putting like things together. I hope this is answering your question, but
Yeah.
I always love this one for jewelry
Jess
or
did one at one of her jobs. Jess took a restaurant. I think it was a bread drying rack. There,
yes.
tall, galvanized, and she took because they're cookie sheets that are,
Yes.
and customers can pull them out. But what she did was she lined them in like lentils or beans, so
Love
the
it.
turkey laid really well in there. And then the customers can just pull, like much like this, customers can just pull out the drawer and kind
Yeah,
of, and it's because it's a rolling rack, you can kind of park it next to the register area or somewhere. But
exactly.
those are great. And the last one, I love this last
I
picture.
love this one too. And this one is, and I feel like this one could, oh, okay, I'm sorry, second to last. Ha ha ha. I dearly did have. So let's see here. This one I feel you could use to make with like cardstock. I don't know what these cones are made of, but I imagine, let me just get this in here. Can you see it okay?
The cardstock, but I think I've seen this shape at like Hobby Lobby and Michael's in
Yeah.
the craft
Like
section.
with wood, made out of wood and stuff. Yeah. I love this because these cone shapes and they're holding bracelets, and man, you could just stack the heck out of them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, the customer can pull off and they can toss it on to whatever cone.
I would
And
do all
yeah,
these in the same color, just me.
total. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Like be consistent. Again, I think, that whether it's the earring spinner, whether it's the necklace rack, these types of things, especially when they're put together, be consistent with what the jewelry is sitting on top of, whether it's, the color, because the jewelry is what you're selling.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start making it look perhaps, I'm interrupting myself, but it's sort of like when you do your own jewelry at home, you might do a little bit more, intricate, and you have grandma's dish over here, and you have this mirror here, and um, the jewelry box that's special over here. That's great. It's your jewelry. In a store, that looks like, unfortunately, a junk sale.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so that's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it though. Okay, this is the last one. And this is ink and alloy. So, look at what your trade shows have been doing and with jewelry vendors. This is very simple what they've done. These are pieces of wood, they're painted color on the back. I can imagine you could use canvas, like stretch canvas and paint.
Yeah.
And you have a hook. Ink and alloy tends to do this little L-shaped uh thing, a nail type of thing that things hang on. Experiment with it, I think. This is much better than slat wall and you know, if you're gonna hang things on a wall, especially like you said, Michelle, if they are carded consistently, this
Hmm.
would look really nice. It
Yeah.
could be a fun way to showcase your
An
pieces.
alloy display so many times, hoping to replicate them some way. And I've yet to have that much space because I love if you're
Oh,
looking
absolutely.
at the ink and alloys wall display where it's all the different colored out boxes
Mhm.
that are all together
Mhm.
in a big grid, which I've never had enough this much space, but I've shot this display so many times wanting to redo it
A
somehow.
100%. I know, right? It's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, those are my photos. That's all I have. So I've stopped sharing.
Hopefully that answers your guys' question. And my last thing for Heyday is if you have a higher end jewelry and you want to intermix it with your apparel, my suggestion would be is you can get them on Amazon. They're these little glass boxes
Yeah.
that they're together with like a gold
Mm-hmm.
rim, and they have lids on them, and you could just pop these little jewelry cases in, like if you have this really pretty section
Yeah.
that you're doing like lace tops and something else, and then have this really pretty little jewelry box that
Yeah.
jewelry that goes back to the story that has a lid, so there's still some safety to it, but that's a way to be able to still show it, like laying it on you do it laying on a table, but it's at least
Exactly. It calls it out in a really special way, like a special piece. So it's not just a
and
jewelry
it's
counter.
contained.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next question.
I know. Talk to me.
I love this one.
Okay.
This is from Kylie from Home Curated.
Okay.
And her question is, how much is, in all caps, too much decorating slash staging when it comes to merchandising? I want my store to feel like you've been teleported to a different world, but is there a point in which the decor distracts from you from what you're selling. Another question is, how often should you be switching up displays, moving products around the store, and doing a full reset? Okay, number one, how much
Hmm.
is too much? There is a point where there's too much, where you're looking at it, and when okay, my suggestion is what I would used to do is you're standing and you're looking at your display, and if you're looking at customer shop and they're like, "Oh, I love this. Oh, this isn't for sale. Oh, I love this. No, that's only display. Oh, I love," like where the display actually looks better than the product. And this goes back to why I always say everything should be for sale. And that's the one thing with Anthro that, with the exception of the small props, like all of the big prop pieces, furniture pieces, all of the display pieces that held merchandise were all for sale. They were so expensive that they made you not want to buy it. But to buy it,
I looked at many of them going, oh, I love this. Okay, I'm not buying that.
yeah, but the whole point is like it's
Yeah.
for sale. So
Yeah.
if you have a lot and you're going to sell all these quote props, but you sometimes you do cross that threshold of you're now in Disneyland. You now have crossed a point where there's so much going on that it actually takes away from what you're selling.
And
Um,
holiday is when this really
yeah.
can be a detriment, I would say.
Oh my God. I looked at a picture of display I did 2 years ago at Masane.
Mhm.
And it was, she had a lot of miscellaneous older ornaments. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, we'll group them together. And she had this huge Eiffel Tower that came from, I think, 180.
Mhm.
And, it had these bins around it, which are great. So I filled in the bins with the ornaments. But
Yeah.
then I decided to take it one step further. And this is where I'm all, wow, I just really overdid that. I
We all
took
have that.
and put garland at the top of the Eiffel Tower and then, wrapped it around and it went around the base. And then, of course, I had to put ornaments on that. And I looked at these pictures the other day. I'm like, fuck, that's a lot. It's like it totally took away from what was going on. And then on top of it, like Masane, the one thing that was so great about Masane, she's closing, so it's so sad. But one thing that was so great is that everything was for sale, and she
Right.
did all the greens, all the flowers, all the garlands. So it was like garland, and then it's layered with the picks, and then it's
Yeah.
layered with the ornaments. But then the tables also had like a giant deer on it with a wreath around it, and then the stack outs of the Voluspa.
Mhm. Mhm.
It was like when I would start doing it, it was like, I love this so much. I love so much. And sometimes you don't have a choice. You have to continue packing it in because you own it. And there was points where I would step away from setting it up and be like, fuck, that it is now overwhelming to me. And
Mhm.
oh, and sometimes it's like it is what it is. It's my job to display it and make it look good. But there were times where I walked away going, I am overwhelmed. But when you sit there and I was listening to the customers walked in, they were transported to this winter wonderland. But there is a fine line of that threshold of when it's like,
I feel, yes. I
but
feel
all of
like
it's for
when
sale.
your display pieces and when your decor is taking away your real estate for merchandise, that is a clear sign to me when doing displays. There's sometimes I get really into like, oh, and I'm gonna do this thing. Maybe there's this window here and this cool tray that's like this, and there's gonna be this branch. I'm like, where's the flippin' merchandise? I'm like, and you're like, I need to fit in candles, and and you're like, no, and I have, think of what your merchandise is. That's what you're selling. You are not selling the branch, the tray, you gotta always keep in mind that your merchandise sits front and center and it should not be overshadowed by the decor. But I think the tree example, I mean, the tree is a good example to me because oftentimes, and I've worked in a place before merchandising where the decor is coming in and it's not decor they sell, but we're going to decorate the store. You're like, let's remember that you need to sell things. This isn't your home. Okay, so tree goes up. What's going to go on the tree? Is it just going to be lights that help reflect the merchandise in front? Is it ornaments you sell?
Yes.
If ornaments go on the tree, you better sell them.
Yeah.
Do
Well, it's
not,
again, like that.
do not put ornaments on a tree that you don't sell.
It should be. And it's funny because I can tell the story because when I first got the Bristol Farms account 13, 12 years ago, whatever,
Yeah.
I first went into the meeting with the marketing director and the creative director, and it was tasked to me to come up with their display because they had never done. Well, okay, this is a good story, and I'll try and keep it as short as possible. Before I got there, each department in this grocery store did their own displays, holiday.
Mm.
So the meat guys had Mardi Gras. The floral department had Frozen. The bakery department had gingerbread, which was good.
Mhm.
Vegetable area had something, and it was like, holy shit. And each store had their own. So whatever Bristol
Oh
Farms
my God.
went to, it was like a crapshoot what you were going to get. So I was tasked in creating their display. And the first one I went back to, I wanted to be like candy and fun. So we made these big oversized candies and cellophane, and both of their looks were like, it's not what we're thinking. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, well, it's candy, it's Christmas. Like, okay, well, we want it to be the food is the star of the show.
Mhm.
So if you think about your product and that your product is the star of the show, and it shouldn't what your display is should enhance it and not just take away from it. So
That is 100%.
their display became lit garland with wood spoons that were tied together with a burgundy wire ribbon and gingerbread men, and that was it. And it's great because it has to do with the food. It doesn't take away from it, and the food is the star of the show. So that's and the second question to this is how often do you should be switching up displays, moving product around the store, and doing a full reset every quarter
Yep.
and moving your displays around. Like I always think about your front and your windows and your entry focal table should be, I think, every couple weeks
I agree
because
with you.
you have
That's
people
always,
walking
yeah.
by and they
Every couple weeks, like for sure, every couple weeks, because the same people, you have repeat
walk
customers.
by
That exact.
and
Yeah,
look
they
in the
walk by, and if they don't see something new,
they
they're like,
automatically think nothing's new, even though you may have something totally new. But it's like you want that front table on your window to be always, and the window can be just the mannequins changing. You don't have to change the theme, but it's
yeah,
like you need that consistent change for the people walking by and they're looking in and they're like making the decision, do I go in and do I not? And for
yeah,
whatever reason, if they think something's not new, which
yeah.
if your
And
table
it's
isn't clean,
rotating. This you could have like it's summertime. Let's say you have a blue and white kind of sailing thing, and maybe you have something with cactus. Well, bring cactus forward and push sailing back. Like, just you don't have to create, like, reinvent the wheel, but you need to show people who are just walking by that something is new.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
your answer to that. Um, okay, so the next question is, okay, there's the two tutorial. Oh, okay, so uh Valerie from Gillyweeds, two questions. Do you have a good website and tutorial on how to fold clothing, t-shirts,
Mhm.
especially make them look cohesive on a table display? Anther does this so well. Second question is, what's the best way to introduce a new line that may carry a higher price point? I have three
Yeah.
stores in town that sell clothing for $150 and up, but my price point tends to be $80 and below. As you know, some of the better quality clothing can get pretty expensive, but are worth the price. I tried to introduce a line last year. It would have been $125 for dresses that never sold. When I wear them, I get tons of compliments on them from the customers, so I'm thinking about trying it again. Any advice?
Hmm. Which part of the question do you want to answer first?
Uh, T-shirts is this is an easy one. This is like So easy. If you go on Amazon, they have, I believe, let me see if I can pull it up. I used to do it in Anthro. There's a and Gap, I think same thing. There's a
Oh yeah.
plastic board that has a handle on it. So you fold around it and you just pull the handle out and it comes out and everything's the same. Um,
Hmm.
I think you can get those on Amazon. For stores that I've worked in that we didn't have them, like I used to have the store Sweet XO. I could never get my team of teenagers to fold anything. So I just took a piece of it was it's like poster board, but it's like plastic on the outside. It's I forget what it is, but
It's like a foam core, but not, but it's, yeah, it's plastic.
enough that when you fold around it and you pull it out, it doesn't pull the whole shape
Yeah.
out. But you can take it poster board and you can just do tape around the edges. You can cut a hole out so it's easy to pull the board, but you're basically just making a board in a size, say 8 by 11, and
Mhm.
fold it around it and stack it up, and it's easy. For the ones that it's challenging with, that it's like if there's a certain, the word is up top or something like that,
Yes.
I'll do that and then I'll fold it one more time.
That's exactly it. Do like a second fold so you're not seeing the it's almost like a trifold. You're not seeing the neck. You're
Yeah.
seeing the graphic. Absolutely.
So that's the easiest. You don't need a tutorial on it. Just like get a board and just it has a consistent shape and that's truly all you need.
And consistency is like I want that tattooed on me, like consistency, because it's like like make it consistent. Don't have like, a bunch of different folded styles on the same
Yeah,
design.
yeah, good,
Like
good,
no,
good.
yeah.
Because
Are
it's if it's what happens is yes, it may look kind of cool, but it's very confusing to your team. And if your team already is having a hard enough time to understand why is this folded like that? Why is that folded like that? It's like if you make it consistent, it's a lot easier for the team to keep up with it. It's a lot easier for it to get maintained. You're not going to be frustrated, like, why can't they figure out what size to fold it? It's like, because there's
Mhm.
five different shapes. Like how
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know. And it's one thing I've realized with working with teams for so long is that you always have to assume they don't know,
Yeah.
and if they've never done it, and you don't know what you don't know. So make it easy for them, make it easy to keep up, make it easy to implement, make it easy for them if you're not there, like, okay, it's folded this size.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want to add the next one, I'm going to let you answer the next one. Best way to introduce something expensive.
So I was thinking about this and I was like, what would I do? And what have I done in the past when buying and having clothing is I make sure it's mixed in with your lower price things. Not so much like you have $20 here and then $150 next, but where you're seeing them relate, right, to each other. That it's my first thought is not setting it aside as this expensive capsule, but letting people who come in fall in love with it just as much as they're falling in love with the other clothing that
Mhm.
they're buying. Or perhaps it's just some pieces that relate to a less expensive piece. Is it a really special skirt, but I compare it with one of your like less expensive tops or accessories that are more expensive.
It's high
Um,
low.
it's high low, yeah, and everyone wants part of it. You might have something like um instead of going really deep in dresses, you might have two dresses and some lower priced items within the collection that are, but that they fall in love with, but ooh, that dress, you know.
I
Does that
think
make sense? I mean, that's sort of my thought. Yeah.
you pull things out and you show it on its own, I think what happens is people get sticker shock. They
Yeah.
go over there and they walked over and it's like everything's over here, everything's 150 or everything's
Yeah.
$200.
Everything they see is like too much.
And I think if you're to get up the hype of something like this about a brand that you're excited about, this is where social media is great. It's like she said it in her email. It's like, people always compliment me on it. It's like
Yes.
when you wear it, go live, talk about the dress, talk about the brand, talk about what's so special about it. And then, maybe that's in the window. Maybe the dress you're talking about this week is in the window, or maybe it's the mannequin next to your focal table. But don't push, both of us agree, don't take it aside and put it all by itself because it's just going to create sticker shock. It's like, especially if nothing else in your store is that price point. But the
Exactly.
low thing, like Anthro did that really well when fast fashion was coming out. Anthro dabbled in the fast fashion thing. So they do their own brand, then they do a higher end brand, and then they do some inexpensive stuff. So it was
Mhm.
like this this great rail of everything because they merchandise everything on the rail you can wear together. Like ideally it's all wearable. So it was like, oh my gosh, this t-shirt's only 20 bucks. And then, but I love these pants. And it's like, I think in your head, it's like, okay, so the t-shirt's only 20 and the pants are 150. It's
Yeah.
like I can get two things and it's like, all right, like it's
T-shirt
not two things.
T-shirt becomes your add-on sale almost.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's the way we would approach it. But social media, the hell out of it. Like, especially if people are telling you how cute you look in the dress and how much they love it. It's like that's
Totally. And then, maybe you're showing it, you're showcasing it with something that you're also selling that's a little lower priced, where they almost feel like they're receiving an entire outfit for the higher priced item.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Think
Um,
it,
okay, last question.
I
Is
love that we got questions. This is
I
exciting.
I love, I mean,
Be happy.
because we can talk about things all day long, but honestly, like answering everyday problems that all of us retailers
Mhm.
run into, it's for sure like this is the best way to
Yeah,
utilize us.
I know.
Um,
Utilize me, please.
so Heidi from uh, Polka Dots Winter Garden, Heidi. Hi, I have a small store and struggle with vignettes or ways to pull multiple things together to showcase them for add-on sales. Some brands are easy, Pandora, because they do it within their displays, but having room for the product and also showcasing has been a challenge. I have no storage room. All right.
Okay. So how to pull together
Vignettes,
vignettes.
ways to show multiple things together so this is two different questions. The storage thing is one, and then the other is basically I would say let's answer the add-on sale thing.
Okay. Sorry, it just came in really close. I was adjusting myself. For everyone who's watching this, I don't have an office yet, so I don't.
You can't tell, it's lovely in the
I'm in
back.
transition,
Like I
okay?
said, the camera's doing this dramatic, like
That's the weirdest thing. Again, the camera. Okay. How to show, okay, what are we doing? How to show vignettes or
how
add-on sales?
she struggles with vignettes and way to pull multiple things together to showcase them from add-on sales. Well, one thing I will say is that what I had told Lucy's when I first came on, because they had brought me on originally with the thought of I was just going to merchandise what they own.
Hmm.
And looking through all their pictures, it was clear it was not going to happen like merchandising what they own. Merchandising, honestly, to me, starts at the shows and when you're buying. So
Hmm.
when I'm buying and I'm doing the shows, I am in my head curating and that's what you're doing. You're curating what you're going to cross merchandise to create these stories that are
Yes.
going to in the stories have cross merchandising opportunities. And for me, I am shopping. I have candles. I know I need matches or wick trimmers. We're
Right.
doing tabletop. Like I don't want to go too deep into tabletop. It's fourth quarter, so giftable things, salad spoons, and then I'm going
Yes.
to do salad books and food to go back with it. And with Lucy's right now, we with what I curated for their tabletop was we have two tabletops. One's like a nicer the vegetable tone glasses from Patty Wax. I can't remember the name,
Hmm.
tabletop line for the Patty Wax, the drink stuff. All these beautiful vegetable tones with drink mixes. So we'll have napkins and things that go back to those colorways. It's a little bit more
Hmm.
serious. And then we have the blue Q and the kind of snarky that's going to go with the fun mud pie
Yeah.
tabletop things. And I'm curating as I go, knowing all these things are going to be merchandised together, and knowing that, if we're going to show a cookbook with spoons or cook a salad book with a salad bowl,
Oh,
and then
it's
we're gonna do
exactly it. It's like what store, it's how do
food
these
from
relate?
foods
Yes.
from Creative Co-op's brand of foods. They're doing Finch and Fennel, I think it's called. Like
Okay, yeah.
we're cross merchandising at that level. So if you start there, but if you haven't and you're in your store and you're looking to what to cross merchandise, think about how you use things. Think about,
Yeah.
and Anthro was always like, who lives here? What does she wear? What does she
And
do?
that I think is a I was just gonna see if you said it's polka dots, correct?
Polka dots. Polka dots winter garden.
So, yeah, polka dots winter. I could spell correctly, it'd be good too. I don't know if they sorry to but you're absolutely right, is starting to, oh, here we go. Starting to, ooh, in Winter Garden, Florida. Hello. To tell that story. Who's your customer and what are they in there for? And what are make up a character if you have to. Like that's oftentimes like, oh, this is really cute. Okay. So I'm looking at like Stanley, really cute, bright colors. Sometimes the vignette is the color too.
Color it out. When in doubt,
Color
color
it
it
out.
out.
Yeah. Get all your happy, bright blue things together or yellow. That's a great way to
That's a great
start with
idea.
a vignette, and sometimes that can be one of like if you're like you're totally stuck, you're like, we don't have a theme, bring it, bring out or but like I see, for example, these really, really bright, cute Stanley water bottles and things of that sort on their Instagram. At what moment are you using this? So that's your story. That's how I'm thinking, like, okay, is it back to school or is it to the beach or is it like back to office and you want to do your like lunch thing? Create that story. Is the customer who comes in there, is she buying water bottles for the beach or for college? Then maybe there's towels
Hmm.
that are mixed with it, tote bags in some same colorways, fun earrings that are kind of beachy, anything like that. That's all coming back to the storytelling and
Well, the coloring out thing too, I forgot about that. I
so much
don't
fun.
know why, but like Masane, like there's times where any of my accounts where there are miscellaneous things that were in a story that made a lot of sense, and the rest of the story is sold, and we're
Hmm.
still selling it. It still sells, but it no longer has the place that it was before.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
have to kind of and my whole job is to reinvent things every time I go there. So there was a time where she had this one big black bookcase, and there was there was a lot of things that were and other concepts that were now kind of free floating.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's color it out. So I did the whole, like, each cabinet of it was like there was a red, there was pink, and it was a stretch in some sense because it was like, what's the French bath line that has the great colored labels? It's glass bottles and the lettering is the colored part. It's Mike Steven sells it, but
Oh,
so it was like hand cream and
yeah.
soap from them, and then it was sprinkles for drink rimmers in pink
Yeah.
as well, and then something else in pink. But as much in my head, because sometimes I get too in my head about displays, and I have to step out and go, like, why does this have to be like this? It doesn't have to.
Yes.
So it's like
Yes.
thinking outside of the box, and it's like, okay, so everything in this row is pink, everything in this row is green, everything in this
100%.
row is orange. And it had nothing had to do with each other than it was the same color, and it was so cute. And it
It's great.
created some add-on sales,
Yeah.
but a lot of it did give all these random things a home.
100%. And two things, because I was just looking at their Instagram and then, but one of my favorite stores in Seattle, Watson Kennedy, and I recommend going to their Instagram, follow them. Now they do have a certain essence within the store. So a lot of things relate to each other as far as like it's the same customer. But I mean, so is your store. You hopefully know your customer. They all their displays are colored out. And they're infamous in some ways because for their green. And like Watson Kennedy is all green, like very much like when he came out with his book, it's green. Like that's his color. So there is always the green display.
Love that.
But and every time you go, there's new things in that green display all the time. And but it's candles, it's plates, it's books, it's, things of that sort. And he'll do like a pet display, like cats and dogs are together, right? Or birds are together a lot of times. But there's always a green display. And come summertime, there's always like a bright citrus orange display and a yellow display. And there's always a blue display and it works really well, and then there'll be a black and white one. And that doesn't mean that every single thing in his store is colored out, but those heavy hitter displays definitely are. And it's exactly what you said. It gives things a home. I was looking, so on their Instagram, polka dots, they showed Brighton bags, and a lot of the ones they were showing were kind of in this creamy white color. You could have all the bags by this vendor together, or you could pull all these creamy white bags out separate, and then they get paired maybe with candles that are complementary in color, books, jewelry,
Mm.
and coloring it out. And that would be so pretty. And then there you go, there's your vignette, and people are now buying different things.
Fur rug in there for
Oh my
fall.
gosh.
Like it's
And then like some green, like some, what kind of greens or sticks or,
like those big pampa, those big pampa.
yes, that would be really pretty. And there you go.
Oh
Insta vignette.
my God, I love it.
Boom. Or
Okay.
like cream and silver. Okay, yeah, that's exciting. There we go. And that would be your add-on sales because a lot of times you get those little things together.
Yeah. And I do add-on sales when I buy, thinking in the sense of gifting. But
Yes.
a lot of people buy for themselves that are in instant gratification. And that's where these displays are like, everything's so yummy and it all looks so good together that they create
Yeah.
add-on sales that are not even really meant to go hand in hand. They're just add-on sales because it's instant gratification. It was like, I love this so much.
And the display feels good because the colors feel good together or the textures feel good together.
God, I love it. Okay, guys, we're 2 hours in.
Yeah.
So sorry,
This
but
is what happens when we haven't done
no,
one of these.
but it's great. And hopefully,
We
like this.
noted we totally saw each other all the time in Vegas, but that's okay.
Thank you guys so much. Again, if
Thank
you
you.
want to send in your questions, please do. For those who have sent your questions in, thank you guys so much. This is
That
part
was
of
fun.
my favorite part of this shelf talk thing that we're doing now. Again, if you want to submit your store, go to retailhorde.podcast.com, submit your store or submit a question. We love you all. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
guys next time.